Joining us on the show this morning on Q100 The Point. The last time we saw them was at Kenai Peninsula Harley-Davidson back the past August, performing ahead of Parmalee. They did an absolutely great job. Ben and Bryan of Elvis Monroe, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Nice to hear you again.
Yes, thank you, Chelsea.
Thank you for coming on. I'm really excited that you guys are coming back, but what have you been up to since we saw you back in August?
Continuing to try and live through, the way the world has turned upside down out here in the lower 48. We're based out of Las Vegas now. So Ben and I have been working on writing and recording our new album. We have our first release, which we gave to you today. We co-wrote this song with Brett Young, who currently has the #1 song at radio with his song Lady, which was really exciting. And so we're really excited about getting this one out to you. And I can pat Ben on the back because Ben produced this record, and he's been locking himself in here with the lab coat on, and he's been playing every instrument on the record. This song and everything that's coming out, the only thing you do not do is play the drums. You've tried. You program the drums and turn around and have a drummer come in and play.
I'll play a basic idea down, and then when I kind of reach my limited chops, if it needs anything that's a little outside the box, and I have to get someone that's actually really good at it. Collaboration is what this is all about for us too. Like we are so fortunate to have some of the best players in the world as our buddies, that have played on many, many hit records. So in life, I think, you always surround yourself with people that are better and smarter than you, and you'll be successful. So, if there's someone that I know that does better than I do, then I'm going to definitely want to lean on them and see if they'll contribute, their talent to what we do to make the sum of the parts greater than the whole.
So we did have on drums, we had Chris Reeve from the band Filter.
Yeah, well, he plays with Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine. He plays with Avril Lavigne. He plays with Filter, and he plays with us. Yeah.
And then a kid named John Spicer, he's sitting in Illinois, and I had him sing some harmonies on this record, and he played a little banjo as well.
He's actually a former banjo champion.
Yeah, as a kid.
Kind of like the Banjo Olympics. And he's so cool. Like, I play my version of banjo, which works for us, but I asked John on a whim, hey, man, if there's something like super traditional that you'd like to lend to this track, like throw it down and we'll see how it fits. And it was absolutely stunning. Like, he played a little chorus reel that we just had to use, so it made the track as well, which was fantastic, And then, to top it all off, to go back in my past, I was part of a band called Savage Garden, and numerous records that inspired me were mixed and produced by a guy called Tom Fletcher. I'm fortunate enough to say Tom has become a lifelong friend of mine over the last 20-something years, and we are finally getting to collaborate. Tom's mixing our whole album. So it's been an absolute honor. He worked with Toto, with Don Henley, with Ozzy, with the Scorpions, he did the Dune movie with Brian Eno. Brian Eno, is a famous U2 producer. So to have a guy with that pedigree take an interest in what we're doing and mix the whole record is just a really great opportunity. And again, a great collaboration with people that are just world-class at what they do.
It seems like all you mega professionals are really, really good friends, like you said. And I got to say, that really comes out in the final version of your guys' tune. It's really a good smorgasbord of inspirations from all genres. What gave you the most inspiration for One Day Someday?
First and foremost, as songwriters, Brian and I have a very unique thing that we do, and it's unique to the two of us. So we love telling stories. That's what we do as best friends. So we try and translate those stories to a vocal and an acoustic guitar. And when the song can stand alone like that, then dressing up the song as far as the production goes, that's where you start calling on your influences and what's genuinely in your heart and in your bloodstream. For better or for worse, I play the guitar like I play the guitar. So I sound like I sound, and I'm just lucky that it resonates, with people. And the way Brian sings, he doesn't really sound like anybody. It's a very unique thing. So we had to find the flavors that work. We definitely had a vision with Brett Young, who co-wrote this song. It was all about a story and a conversation that happened in a bar talking about his now wife and mother of his beautiful daughter, Presley, who the song Lady was written about, Taylor and Presley, and they've got a second daughter on the way. Before they were married, back when they were boyfriend and girlfriend, they were having a conversation in a bar, and
I overheard the conversation that he caught me, and then we came up with a few different scenarios, and I wrote it from his point of view, my point of view of walking into, like playing any random bar or any random place and instantly falling in love and knowing that that's the person that I'm trying to get her attention. I want to be heard and seen, and I want her to see me the way that I see her. And that in my mind, she was fiction, but in his mind, it was real. She was standing right in front of him. And so we wrote this song 2 days later after doing karaoke in a bar. We were out on tour with Daughtry, doing some shows, and he was out with Lady A, and we met up at this little place called the Beaver Creek Saloon. And the story and the sit down, this is what came out of it.
And as far as inspiration for the actual feel, the sonic texture of the song, that's my babe. And we discussed sort of the feelings that we have in this song, what we wanted to portray to the listeners. And I just like to tell anyone who's listening to this song, just put yourself on an old dusty horse with that favorite person of yours on the back and ride off into the sunset, and then maybe this will be your soundtrack.
Yes, this is Elvis Monroe and our new single called One Day Someday, right here on The Point.
On Q100, The Point, your girl Chelsea Chess, like the game, hanging with you, joined by the boys of Elvis Monroe. We just heard their new tune, One Day Someday. I hope you loved it. Ben and Bryan, thanks again for joining me today.
Thank you.
So welcome. Hey, Chelsea, I got to ask you, I'm diving right to the point because we're on the point.
Uh-huh.
When are we coming to play for Alaska again? Like, I'm excited. We feel like we're part Alaskan. We've been adopted by the Alaskans.
Yes.
And we just love being up there. It's such a beautiful place to play music with such great people that are real, genuine music fans. You know, we've got so many inspirations and songs that have come out of Alaska and our experiences with the people up there. So we're just excited to get back, and I'm throwing it out there saying, when are we coming? When are we going to come do something?
Well, you have the date.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do. We're actually coming back June 27th. You know, we're working on that. But
Yeah.
we will be out that way in Alaska.
In Alaska. Yeah. Honestly, I'm spinning right now with making a record, so all I know is the four walls and all these guitars that are around me. But I know we're coming up in June for one or two shows. We're coming up in Carey. We're coming up in July for another show in the Anchorage area, maybe, and then in August. Like, there's three relatively close to each other, but I'm unclear of the cities.
Right now, with just the way things are going, we're just waiting for them to sign on the dotted line and know that we can come out and play for you all.
Well, that's good to know that you guys are at least for sure coming here. And how about we just make sure to get that posted to our KWHQ Facebook once we get the details?
We definitely will, 100%.
Right on. Well, I do want to ask you what kind of ideas have been created from your beautiful experiences up here in the north.
Well, for one, I do remember one evening we went up to Alaska. We were doing shows with Jake Owen and Lee Brice. And the night before our gig, Ben and I, we tend to write separately. I had come up with a melody over some music that he'd given to me a couple weeks prior. And I said, hey, I have this idea. Let me run it by you. And because I was sitting in my hotel room and I knocked on his door and we started working on a song called Backyard Family Barbecue. We played that song. We wrote that song in the hotel the night before we played it. And here was the crazy thing. We have video of 3,000 plus people singing at the top of their lungs to that song when we had just decided at the last minute, let's try it. And we'll probably it went over so well.
We've crashed a few trains.
Oh, yeah. Yes, we have.
You have to. Elvis Monroe joining us on the show. Talk about some more ideas you've gotten while you were up here in Alaska.
Another song that we wrote in Alaska was Holy Water.
With Randy Couture.
With Randy Couture. Randy had come knocking on the door. We brought Randy with us to do some shows, and he came knocking at the door, and we sat down and we wrote that song, Holy Water. And both those songs are off our current album. That's the title track. It's called Holy Water. But this particular album, we've already come up with the title of it, and it's called Competing with Giants. Ben and I find ourselves as two best friends writing and performing music. We don't have a label. The team that's built around us are friends and people that do well, who just believe in us, but we're a two-man team just forging ahead. I mean, we do have some great people like Capello and Claypool and all these people that kind of just see something in us, but we're competing with the giant for space, and we just want to be heard, but the name of the album will be Competing with Giants.
Yeah.
Elvis Monroe again joining us on the show. Will you please continue about working as a team that's just made up of you guys?
It's our vision with nobody to tell us yes or no. We're just figuring it out ourselves, and we're making a record this time around that we're not trying to appease anybody. And I figured if we make a record that we're both really proud of, that we want to crank up, maybe somebody else will want to crank it up too.
Well, it sounds like you guys are in the right place to just do you to max capacity then.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It does. It does make sense. That is what we're doing at the moment, and having fun doing it.
Chelsea, it just sounds like you just broke up with me. You do you.
Oh, no. It's not you, it's me. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. It's me. We got to let you know, our fans out there, well, Marcy Hum was a woman she is no longer with us. She was a big fan of ours. She took us to lunch one day, and her husband was big in radio, and she had taken to us, and she said, your fans need an identity, and I'm going to give them their name, and she calls them the Elvis Monroe Mafia, because we're based in Las Vegas. So we always get asked, how do I get to be a part of the Mafia? And I said, all you have to do is just love what we do and share it and, be proud of being a part of that. So our fans, it just keeps growing. The Elvis Monroe Mafia just grows every day. And every time we hear anybody say that name, we think of Marcy.
Oh, well, rest in peace, Marcy. And I'm going to happily call myself a proud member of the Elvis Monroe Mafia.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, hey, quick review. I know we don't have the exact dates, but run through again what you know as of yet as to your dates coming up in Alaska.
We're coming to Alaska for the Backyard Country Barbecue put on by Erickson Unlimited. Yes, there is at least one show, maybe two. And
June 27th.
Possibly 2 dates there. We're not sure yet. I think Scotty McCreery is on that show with us, so it's going to be pretty cool. July the 10th, we are doing a show in
Anchorage at the State Fairgrounds, July 10th, and we will be with Tone Loc, Color Me Bad, us. There's a couple other country artists.
I mentioned that we're going to be there.
But we're going to be on that
We're
show.
going to be there. We'll let you know.
Just get on the plane and get off the plane, and that's where we're playing. So.
And then play some tunes.
Exactly.
That's how we met you.
That's how we met you.
Yeah, Owen, I loved it. I didn't mean to fangirl over you guys when you were here, but gosh darn it, you guys are just too much cool for this Kenai kid.
Oh, thank you so much.
You know what? We actually, I want to shout out to a sandwich shop. Jersey Subs, is that what it's called, across the street from the park there? Or
That's
Jersey
right,
Subs?
Jersey Subs.
Oh, good. Every
so
time we're there, we go there.
I eat like a fat kid when I'm there because I'm like, I got to have 2 giant ones,
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah, and, we love, like I said, the atmosphere in Alaska, the views that are always, you look over the crowd and those faces singing the songs and you see those beautiful mountains and the rivers, and it's really, it's quite special for an artist because it's something you don't ever really get to see.
And Alaska is the one place that we make sure that we come in early and we stay a little bit longer so we get to go do all those really cool things.
We've also started putting plans together, nothing confirmed yet, with the Ken Peltier band. Ken's a very, very dear friend of ours, and he's an Alaskan legend. So we're going to team up and do a series of shows around one of those dates, intimate bar-style shows.
Well, that's very exciting, and I hope to receive details about that, too, so we can get that to our Facebook page so everybody on the Kenai Peninsula knows about it.
I will, and you know what? We've got it this morning. We got a lyric video that we will be sending over to you so you can share that as well.
Cool. Appreciate your time, and, I'll go ahead and let you go so I don't take up your whole day, but gosh darn it, I appreciate you calling in.
Thank you, Chelsea.
Wow, that's right, dude. They ruled.